meeting that person is going to pull out so many more things out of you that you may not even realize exist. And the thing is not to be afraid of it, not to dismiss it, not to act like it's not a big deal. No, it's to look at yourself dead in the mirror and say, okay, this is an issue. I need to fix this. Because here's the thing. If you're wanting God's blessing and God to put you in a relationship that's truly best for you. Remember what I said in the beginning. God blesses you not just for you, but for other people too. So that means your relationship has to be an example of what God brings together. See, all these people talking about what God brought together, let no man tear apart. Well, there's a lot of people married even that God had nothing to do with that. Those are those two people deciding to get together. Those two people deciding to overlook what their spirit was telling them, to not even consult with God. I always say, every time I've coached a divorced person, man or woman, and I ask them, did you ask God if you should marry this person? 90% of the time they say they never asked. The other 10% said they asked, God told them no, and they married that person anyway. All right? So you got to understand, one, of course, leaning on God's direction for this, but realizing that, again, like I said, people letting fear and all these other outside factors get in the way. And you got to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and make the necessary corrections. That's it. That's the bottom line, because you cannot get caught up thinking you're okay. So yes, if the timing is off, it's not just him, it's the both of you that have things to address. All right. And here's the last thing I'm going to say. And it kind of ties into, as far as this specific point, and it ties into God wants you to be a proper representation of what he brought together. It's all in the details. And so what I mean by that is sometimes the littlest thing that you don't think is a big deal, even for you, let's say it's an issue that you have. Let's say, for example, you're a woman and every now and then you get real snappy. All right. You get a little slick in the mouth. Okay. And let's say you grew up in a household where this was very common practice. Let's say you have a mother who she talks all kinds of crazy to your father or the man she's with right now. And you become accustomed to this style and think it's okay. But you don't understand that that same smart little mouth you got is going to destroy your future relationship, especially the man you have a connection with, because he will be more sensitive to your words. He will be more sensitive to your actions. And so if you don't wake up to the reality that this is a problem, you will carry that into the situation and you will end up sabotaging it. But that's just one example. It could be various little small things. God knows what little small details need to be cleaned up before you can move forward. And so you have to embrace the mentality of, all right, there must be more work to do. Let me get on it. All right. So before I get to the fourth reason, real quick, get your copy of The Man God Has for You, best-selling book, thousands of reviews on Amazon, on my website. You're going to love it. It's going to break a lot of things down for you. It's helping women everywhere. Click the link in the description or in the comments section and get your copy today, or go to www.themangodhasforyou.com. So on to number 4. And I've kind of been conflicted about if I wanted to make this number 4 or save it for last, but I'm just going to trust my spirit. So, because I think the next one is going to be a doozy. So, all right. Number 4, the fourth reason why God would allow you to meet the right man at the wrong time is for the purpose of building your faith and providing a testimony. So let's start with faith. Remember, faith is believing in the things unseen. You can't grow your faith without it being tested. Unfortunately, I wish we could, right? Because Lord knows the test I've been put through to have to grow faith, and the test many of you have been put through is like, my goodness, right? But that's really the only way. We have to be put through situations where we think sometimes our hope is lost, and then God swoops in and saves the day. We got to be put in situations where it doesn't make any sense. Because if it made sense, we wouldn't give it to faith in God. We would just give it to what logically happens here. We might give it to our own understanding and approach to things, right? It has to go against the grain for it to really dig into that faith that's like, man, like I've seen things that y'all just can't understand. And that's why I believe what I believe. But so in doing that and allowing you to meet that right man when it's the wrong time, like if you found stories where people have experienced this and later on went on to actually end up together and everything worked out, you will find faith in that. You will find growth. Like there's some things that really had to occur in a lot of situations because that kind of dynamic, it puts you through it. I'm not going to lie to you. And that's why I said earlier, some of these things ain't going to feel good. You're not going to like hearing it, but it's real. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Relationships are the key to a successful life. But there's 5 areas that we have to be mindful of when it comes to relationships. There's relationship with God, relationship with ourselves, relationship with family and friends,